Welcome back. I'm Coach Tina. Today we're talking about wrist pain. If you have wrist pain when you hold a dumbbell. This was actually a question sent to me and I wanted to cover it because this probably is pretty common for some people who maybe are just starting to work out or haven't worked out in a while. So if you feel wrist pain when you hold a dumbbell, I want you to focus on one thing, is actually the positioning of your wrist. So the most healthy position for your joints, whether it's for your wrist, your elbow, your shoulder, is to have all the joints stacked. So check first to see if your wrists are turning. Oftentimes I see when someone's holding a kettlebell, they'll hold it with the wrist broken, as in not in this neutral straight position, but open. And the same happens with the dumbbell. If you're letting your wrist flop back, this will put a lot of strain on the wrist and cause pain when you're doing an exercise, whether it's doing it as a bicep curl or pressing overhead. So number one is check that your wrist is making a straight line. So when you hold the dumbbell, it's not an broken wrist position, but a neutral wrist position. And now I'm going to give you 3 exercises you can do to help strengthen your wrist. So first, oftentimes there's wrist pain because we're often like this at the computer. And that's how people also get carpal tunnel. So every day, you don't have to do it a gazillion times, press your wrist in this direction. You're creating a little stretch in this direction that the wrist normally doesn't go. So both sides, and if you need a set and rep scheme, 3 sets of 10. So think 1, 2, 3, 4, count to 10, release, do the same on the other side. So maybe within that day, 3 sets of those 10-second holds. Sounds like a lot, but your wrists will be happy. From there, after doing a stretch, you're going to do some wrist exercises. Actually, let me grab a lighter weight. Luckily, I'm at the gym, so you guys can see that I can grab the tools. The forearm will be resting against the surface. You'll have a dumbbell, so you can see me. The wrist will help lift the dumbbell, slowly lower, and then you can bring the wrist back up. Sorry, I gave you the wrong directions. Your wrist will lift. The other, blah! You're gonna lift with the other hand, and the wrist is doing the exercise on the slow lower. So it's called an eccentric. So lift with the other hand, slowly lower with the working wrist. You're also gonna be doing a set of 10. If both wrists are not hurting, I would just do that on the one wrist. So if only your left wrist hurts, then you'll work on the eccentric on the left. The right hand helps lift the weight. The left wrist does the work. So that's the second exercise that you can do for your wrist to help strengthen it. And the last is working on your grip strength. The grip strength will also affect your wrist. And the best way to practice grip strength, you probably do in everyday life when you go grocery shopping. It's called a farmer's carry or a suitcase carry. Farmer's carry is when there's 2. Suitcase carry is 1, like holding a suitcase. This is about 45 pounds in my hand. And you can either just stand with a nice tall posture, or you can walk around with it. You're doing it for time. Walk in, come back. You might start off with 30 seconds as the first time you do it, and then go on to work into 45 seconds. But that in itself works on your grip strength. So what you need to remember is always having your wrist neutral. That's the posture part. And the 3 exercises is stretching your wrist in the opposite direction, working on the negative, so as in the weight gets lifted and slowly lowers on its own. You're supporting your forearm as you do that. And the last one is the carry, working on your grip strength. So I hope that helps you, and you can always buy me and Michelle a coffee. Be sure to like this post and subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time.